Hello everyone, my name is Bjorn. I'm a practicing urban farmer and a social change maker. I've designed and built over 250 edible gardens in Singapore over the last 8 years. Whilst my projects, which are mainly commercial in nature, I've seen food gardens having the ability to build communities and to address social issues within the city. I'm really keen to go deeper into my work and to find new links within the topic of food and our landscape in Singapore, looking deeper into topics that can help citizens build a more intimate relationship and attain ownership of their landscape through food. The mark of progress is presented in only one way, and technology, vertical growing, sensors, and automations are buzzwords, and worshipped as silver bullet to solve Singapore's looming food crisis. I've fallen into that same trap, as you can see from this spaceship-like photo in a shipping container farm. But the need to take many steps back to re-examine Singapore's authoritarian approach to its environmental policy and the almost complete loss of indigenous Malay food practices is now completely overshadowed by the eating habits of migrants and of global taste buds. And the produce that were commonly grown and eaten pre-independence is now a scarcity in the local markets. The ability to recreate existing green spaces on rooftops such as this has seen an increase in biodiversity in this once monocrop rooftop. With over 50 varieties of local, endemic herbs and plants, these urban spaces start to play the role of a repository seed bank for the future. These alternative agriculture greening methods have slowly become recognized by planning agencies and have allowed more spaces like this to grow and thrive. Getting creative on the dual use of space for food growing has been prevalent to our early works. Converting rooftop car parks for growing, such as this example in 2004, highlights the need to think creatively. These activation projects have encouraged us to now look differently at future rooftop car park spaces. From the top of car parks to under flyover, we soon realized that we could activate space and community with urban agriculture. To temporary shop houses in the colorful neighborhood of a Well Road, this pop-up seeks to bring food activists closer in conversation as we jointly build the space together, fostering a community of like-minded individuals in search for Singapore's food sovereignty. An outcome of that came a deep, inert push to want to discover our past as hunters and gatherers, and the instinct within that. Foraging helps us connect more deeply with our environment, and authoritarian environmental policies has drastically reduced our ability to do so. As we push on to a permanent site of our own at Citizen Farm, the intention to look for more sustainable techniques has been one of our major driving forces. Closing the waste loop cycle has never been more important than now, as the global food system is severely under threat. Whilst we work on the ecology of insects and plants, we cannot forget our fellow beings, especially those who are left behind due to sickness and challenges. The farm provides a respite and a place of community for many like Daniel, who has the autism spectrum disorder. Daniel has been one of our employees performing farming tasks like seed sowing, harvesting, and packing of microgreens and edible flowers. The nature of this repetitive task that he performs gives him comfort in a healing and soothing environment. This space has also hosted many of our young ones that are stewards of our environment. From the simple act of sowing a seed to harvest, our junior urban farmers will lead the charge into a more sustainable future. In the context of indigenous food knowledge, what might be viewed in the West is very different for a young city-state like Singapore. Our short history presents a different profile to what we deem and know as indigenous. In one argument, the Malays are the people of the land, but early Chinese settlers in the Straits and the Peranakans have also been now identified as people of the land. Here's Mr. Tan. In him, there's a wealth of knowledge of 300 different local endemic plants and herbs. Mr. Tan will soon lose his space to the new agricultural agenda. What Mr. Tan faces is the same threat and displacement currently facing multiple generation soil-based farmers. Many have encapsulated generation of knowledge of our land flora, which has been growing on the periphery of their farms. These local endemic species create unique biotypes for insects and wildlife. If we do not provide a medium for this knowledge to be kept, there is a chance that it may be lost. The restorative agrarian foodscape within each project leverage on similar models that have been successfully tried in other societies under the term of care farming, and with demonstrable positive impact to the health and quality of life of older adults and benefits to the overall community, the effects of horticulture therapy among older adults have also been studied in Singapore and other countries and linked to positive health outcomes. Horticulture activities covers a broad perspective ranging from all forms of exposure to nature and plants to a narrow focus on active engagement with plants. These activities have been shown to reduce depression as the garden environment offers a respite from the urban setting. In addition, besides reducing negative mood, horticulture also brings about an increase in positive dimension. Look at Mr. Lim, the guy in black. Week 1 of the program, Mr. Lim looked down and did not say a word and did not keep eye contact. But by week 6 of this program, Mr. Lim couldn't stop talking. He shared that some nights he would come down to look at the garden. It gave him purpose and took him out from isolation. Restorative micro-landscape with soft fascination. These micro-landscapes can become a source of micro-enterprises and provide micro-jobs around the district, introducing a new way to eat and consume, changing the way citizens think about their food, eating their way out of old habits and changing mindsets. If we can change this mindset, we can change the demand, and with change in demand, we can change how agriculture takes place in the Asian region. The meta framework will include following measures of both quantitative and qualitative approaches to measure the effectiveness on how we design the restorative agrarian spaces against the following metrics, which will provide fresh insights using biological and medical methods as a basis of measuring the effectiveness of the design of our project. The ultimate goal of farming is not the growing of crops, but the cultivation and perfection of human beings. Thank you very much for your time.